Hey guys, Brent Hull, Wednesday design video. Today we're looking at a great house today, a new build, but one that didn't really know what it wanted to be. So some of my first questions, they had these French windows, but they wanted an English design, and it was really just confusing. So we had to work through a number of iterations. I'm gonna show you those. Let me know what you think. Working on another project. This is what was sent to me. They are in love with the plan of the house. It's kind of an H plan. They're in love with English architecture. The more that we've talked, I think that there's some American influence that we're going to try to install and put in there. My first question was, what style is this? Like, what do you want it to be? And you know, I've offered a couple different suggestions and ideas, because to me, what's confusing is you've got this window type here, okay, which is typically a French window type. These are all casements, right? These are doors, these are casements. There's no double hungs in here. So if you want an English tradition, it probably should be double hung windows, or an American tradition. So, you know, the scale of those windows, and then, you know, very classical, you know, Georgian entry. And so again, we've got parapeted ends, you know, and this goes up and the roof's behind these parapet ends. What style is it, right? What does it want to be? What is it trying to be? And so we went through a few iterations. The first iteration was kind of, you know, she had shown me a Pinterest page, and I had, you know, played around with some ideas. One, I kind of did it in two halves. I did this half, which is more rustic, right? You'll see the corning around the window isn't cut, it isn't straight. The rubble infill of the stone, leaded glass in these upper windows, still staying kind of in that same French tradition. You'll notice I did change the whole eave and gave this a very strong hat there. Over here on this side, I did more of a cut stone, clean line deal, more opened up. But, you know, both are kind of playing with a European, you know, look for the house, kind of a French eclectic, you know, French country house. And so it's pretty, it's nice. I like it. They, you know, came back and said, we really like the brick though. And so I reworked it with the more of an American brick deal. And of course, I went back with double hung windows, which is the big change. If we want this tradition with, you know, gauged bricks and rubbed bricks and molded bricks and this kind of detailing, we really needed to go back here. And so, you know, pull away that kind of French tradition. And so, keeping with their same plan, we've gone back with a brick idea where you've got double hung windows. These are bigger. There's a lot of lights important, and we'll do another iteration. We will look at the back of the house, but really making sure that the front of the house is really something they wanted. You'll even see that I've tried to put, like, these are bathrooms up there, try to put maybe, you know, false windows with shutters over top of them. Certainly if this house wanted shutters, there's room for shutters that could look really good. There's a lot of opportunity with this house and kind of the direction we go, but it's still pretty early. We're still working through a number of deals, but you can see how it changes and how I think that, you know, and you could do some modillions like we did in that other one, and really dress up this house and give it a English American, right, early, maybe Georgian, kind of an eclectic style with the H plan. But certainly I think the double hungs really help. This gauge brick, and if you don't know about gauge brick is basically that if you have an opening, okay, historically, like there's a window in here, historically, if you have that opening, in order to support the brick, they didn't have steel lintels that they could put in right here and just put the brick in whatever. They actually had a brick arch, okay? So this would go across, and there would be this shape, this wedged shape in there that would support and keep the building from falling down. Now, each of these bricks, as you come across, was a different shape. Okay, and I didn't do that very well, but you get the idea. And they're gauged at the factory, and so that each one of these different parts and pieces is, as it comes across, is shaped for that thing. And when we bought them for one of our Georgian projects, we actually, you know, had them, they came pre-fit. There was a piece of foam in between each one, but it was ready to put in there, and it was done at the factory. And so if you try to do this on the job site, you end up looking more like my sketch, where you get these funny bricks that have been cut weird and it just doesn't work very well. The gauge brick's really important. So it's going to be small little details like that. If we did a rubbed brick entry, kind of like Carter's Grove, if we did the brick arches over all these windows, it communicates that age. Certainly the molded brick down here, maybe we introduce some molded brick there, is going to give them that historic look, that historic feel. But I like this more. It seems to know more what it wants to be. It's very traditional. The brickwork is going to be very important. This eave detail is going to be very, very important. One of the things you'll notice about this eclectic European look is building details. You'll notice compared to the other one, as you'll see in a sec, I've done a lot more coining, okay? So that this is and I'm playing around with the coining, and it can be very rustic, as in this case. It can be very simple. And so the way this would have been built, solid masonry walls, they didn't build with studs at that time. And the way all of the openings, okay, each of the openings would have been more finished and more refined. That's why this opening is more finished and refined with stone, rubble infill in between. So you got strong, base stones, you've got strong stones on the corner and around window openings, but then rubble infill in here. So doing that really communicates that, that look and that period. And you'll notice over here, I just, instead of having this rounded stone, it's actually very cut, very detailed, and so this is elevated. And so figure that you have a dial, right? And over here is super rustic, and over here is super refined. We're kind of being in this area, and so I tell clients that it's a little dial that we can play with. And if we want to go this way, maybe we play with the stones. Maybe it's not rubble infill or brick infill. So there's a dial here that I think we should all realize we have on our jobs. And part of telling that story is figuring out where we are on this dial, and then figuring out if we stay right here, what that would have looked like, how it would have been built, so that we can build a more authentic house. Okay guys, how'd we do? Do you like the change? Would you like that European look? Do you like the American look, that Georgian? Do you like the brick? Do you like the stone? Let me know what you think in the comments. I read them all and try to answer most of them. So let me know. I'm Brent Hull. Thanks for watching.